Hi, I'm Judy and welcome to my channel, Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade yogurt. Yep, that's right, homemade yogurt. I've made it for years. My kids were raised on homemade yogurt. A lot of people think you can't do it yourself, but you really can. And so it's easy. What we'll do is you can either use 2% milk or 1% or non-fat. There's a slightly different process involved when you're using the lower fat milks. So what I've done is I've put a gallon of 2% milk in this pot, and I'm slowly bringing it to a boil. We don't want to turn it on high, certainly, because it's going to stick and burn on the bottom of the pan. So I have it on about a number 6, just a little bit above medium, so it does take a little while to allow it to come to a boil. I'm actually making plain yogurt right now. If you want to make a vanilla yogurt, that's really easy. When you put your milk into your pot, add anywhere from a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of sugar. When I was making it for my children, I always made vanilla, and my younger son always wanted right at 5/8 of a cup of sugar into a gallon of milk, and that comes to a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of sugar, and that may or may not be sweet enough for you, so that's a matter of your own personal preference. So what you want to do is bring your milk carefully to a boil, and I've got the lid on it, but I am watching it. You do have to watch it because once it starts to boil, it bubbles up really fast, and you can have quite a comedy act going in the kitchen with milk running everywhere really quickly. So you do want to watch it, and when it comes to a boil, take it off of the heat right away. Okay? Now if you're making vanilla, you're adding your sugar at this point, but not the vanilla yet. Okay? In the meantime, you need to get your starter yogurt ready. And what you'll do is take some store-bought, either plain or vanilla yogurt that you like. And take your container out. What you need is anywhere from 4 to 8 ounces. So it could be a small container of yogurt of a brand that you like. Or if you have some in the refrigerator, you can take anywhere from half a cup to a cup of already made yogurt as your starter for your gallon of milk. Okay? What you can also do is turn the light bulb on in your oven, and that will allow the oven to warm up gently. Your oven is going to be your incubator, but you don't want to turn the oven on. If you do, it's going to be too hot, and it's going to kill the starter bacteria that's in your milk, okay? So you just want to use the heat from the light bulb to warm the oven for your incubator. You want to place that rack that's in the middle of the oven, perhaps down a little bit from the center to allow enough room for the height of your containers. While you're waiting for your milk to boil, I'm just watching it here. While you're waiting for your milk to boil, you can also be gathering containers that you're going to put this in. You need plastic containers are fine with lids, and no larger than a 4-cup container. If your container is any bigger than that, you're not going to have good temperature control, and your yogurt is not going to come out properly. Now, a used yogurt container like this works out really well for you to incubate your yogurt in. It holds about 3 cups, so it works out very well. And after this comes to a boil, we'll come right back. Hi there. Okay, you can see that my milk is now off the stove. It came to a full boil, and I took it off there really quickly before it started to bubble up. Now, what we want to do, if you're making vanilla yogurt, now is the time to add your vanilla extract to this. So to 1 gallon of milk, you would add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract of your choice, okay, and stir it up really well. If you're not making vanilla, then of course at this point you've got plain milk and you don't need to do anything with it other than to allow it to cool. So we want it to cool down to 110 to 120 degrees, about like if you were warming up a baby bottle, something like that. This is where this instant read thermometer is great. It's really handy because I can just put it in there and know exactly what temperature there is. You can leave it on the counter to cool down, which will take a little while, stir it every now and then. Or you can put it in your kitchen sink and surround it with cold water. Change the water a couple times, stir the milk a little bit as you're going, and that will help it to cool down faster. And that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back as soon as it's cooled down. Okay, so my milk has cooled down. It's right at 110 degrees. Again, we want it between 110 and 120. I was able to cool it down really quickly by putting it in the sink, surrounding it with cold water, and stirring it, and it cooled down really fast. Okay, so now what we want to do is take our starter yogurt. Now, I scooped out a cup of yogurt from what I had in the refrigerator, and I just allowed it to sit out for a while to warm up a little bit. And I'm actually putting it in one of the containers that I'm going to use. Just scooping out as much as I can here. And I'm going to add a little bit of that warm milk to this. I'm going to take a whisk, just kind of stir it up, and this allows that yogurt to break up and dissolve into that little bit of milk. Oh, does it look yummy? It looks like melted ice cream. Okay, now I'm going to pour that into my container, into my pot. Take this ladle out just for a moment. And whisk it in there. That way I know that that yogurt is dispersed all throughout that milk. Notice I'm not adding any fruit. The fruit yogurt that you buy at the grocery store is made a little differently. I don't believe you can do quite the same thing at home. So I advocate making either plain or vanilla yogurt, and then if you want fruit in it, add the fruit in it when you're ready to eat it. Take it, either fresh fruit and cut it up and put yogurt on top of it, or canned fruit, or if you want something similar to what you might get in the store, like with the fruit on the bottom, take some preserves or some jam, something like that, just a little bit, and mix it into your yogurt, and you'll have a fruit flavored yogurt that way. Okay, so now my starter has been introduced to this milk, and all I'm going to do is ladle it into all of my containers, and then I'm going to put it in that pre-warmed oven, and I'm going to allow it to sit in the oven with the lid on the containers for anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Okay? The longer you let it sit in there, the more tart your yogurt is going to be. So if you don't want something very tart, then you might just go with 6 hours. And after 6 hours, you can take it out with the lid still on it and put it in the refrigerator and allow it to chill down really well before you eat it. And it will come out yummy that way. So I'll be back in just a moment. I've ladled out all of the yogurt. It's all in the oven now with the lids on the containers. The light bulb is on. I'm going to leave it in there for 6 hours and then take it out and put it straight in the refrigerator. Let it sit there overnight, and then tomorrow we'll have some wonderful homemade yogurt. I hope this has helped. This is Judy in the kitchen. See you again.